Hey guys, it's me, Freddy Pop Collector, and today we're going to be reviewing the brand new FNAF Funko action figures based off of Curse of Dredbear. I've said it so many times before, and I don't think I really need to say it again. I love Curse of Dredbear. I love what it did for forgotten characters like Jacko Chica and Jacko Bonnie, and I also love the characters it introduced such as Grimm Foxy and Dreadbear. Anyways, today in front of us we have the entire line. This wave feels like it should have came out last October, but it came out this October, but hey, I'm not complaining. It's better than characters that don't even exist, such as Chocolate Freddy and Chocolate Chica. Speaking of older figures, you might remember this Jacko Chica figure from Wave 2. We will be comparing the Jackos to this Jacko Chica, so just sit tight. In the meantime, can I please just say what a turnaround I've seen in Funko this year? I'm so glad we got another wave and we didn't just get this spring colorway trash. Before we rip right into these, let's take a minute to appreciate this box art. I absolutely adore the packaging here. The art is so cool. They could have just used the wooden texture they used on the back, but no, they use an artist rendition of so many cool things iconic from Curse of Dredbear, such as pumpkins, graves, grass, etc. Grass? Anyways, flipping it over, this was the wood texture I was talking about. This is clearly what they used on the tags, and they could have gotten away using it here on the front, but they didn't, which was a very nice touch. I've already got Dreadbear here in my hand, so we might as well just start with him. Not doing any beating around the bush here, this is an easy 10 out of 10 for me. You may think that's a little extreme, but when I actually compare him to all the other figures, this figure has an absolutely perfect mold. I don't even know what else to say. The mold is literally perfect. There are zero things I would change about the mold, whereas with every other figure, there's one or two small little tweaks I would change. Of course, there are some figures with perfect molds, such as Ennard, but of course, they had to completely ruining it by forgetting to paint the stripe on his hat and no eyebrows. Why? Not only are there no offensive paint mistakes, but every single stitch and wire is perfectly placed. The coloration is also pretty alright. What amazes me though is that they forgot zero details. Literally everything is here. Everything about Dreadbear is here, down to his feet. They literally remolded everything to make him as accurate as it can be. And wow, that's awesome. They even remembered the crease that goes around the top of his head because, you know, that's where his brain goes. It just baffles me how they went out of their way to make unique molds for pretty much every single part of the figure. From his hands, to his legs, to the torso, to the head, everything here is awesome. Even on the back of the torso, they remembered all the details. So no, I don't feel bad for giving this one a 10 out of 10. Tell me in the comments if you guys spot any issues, because I literally don't, and as of now, I don't feel bad for that 10 out of 10 rating. He looks like a 3D print of Steel Wool's model from Help Wanted, but for now, let's move on to Glitchtrap, my main man, the Miracle Empirical Man himself. Now, I can clearly tell this figure had some passion put into its design and craftsmanship, but one issue I have is the joints. Glitchtrap doesn't have joints in Help Wanted, and I really wish they would have just either painted these yellow or came up with an alternate solution. But like Dreadbear, I'm in love with the molds they use here. The only thing that really looks wonky to me is the eyes, whiskers, and eyebrows. They don't really look that authentic to me. I love the stitching in the ears, but everything else is kind of off in the face. However, speaking of the stitching, I love it on the hands and on the legs. Funko did a great job on the stitching, well done, just like Dreadbear. Although another issue I have is the stars on his vest. You can barely see them because they're outlined with red and not white for some reason. But besides the slightly wonky face and the stars on the vest, I would give this figure an easy 8.5 out of 10. Besides a few minor issues, this figure is pretty solid and probably my second favorite in this wave. Also, I forgot to mention, but they didn't forget the tail, which is pretty cool. I really don't know how I feel about Jacko Bonnie, to be honest. He looks pretty okay when put beside Jacko Chica. And pulling out the other figures from Wave 2, let's take a closer look at how he compares to Nightmare Bonnie. They're pretty similar. The molds are pretty much the exact same, the only difference being the obvious translucent plastic, which we'll touch on later. But yeah, pretty much the same as Jacko Chica to Nightmare Chica. They cut out the eyes to make them hollow, and that's about it. I give this one a 7 out of 10, mostly because I don't really know how I feel about this translucent plastic yet. It's not terrible or a bad idea because it's obviously to make some sort of glow effect, but it's just really strange to me. Finally, we have Grimm Foxy. I don't know if it's just me, but I haven't really been too excited for Funko's Grimm Foxy merch. I mean, the figure looks pretty alright to me. The only issue is his eye. It's very weird how they just painted that part yellow. It doesn't even really fit inside the mold, which looks kind of weird. I wasn't sure if his hand here was a new mold, and it is, surprisingly. I don't know why they went out of their way to do that. Overall, short and sweet, I would give this figure an 8 out of 10. This figure does stay truthful to the original character, and putting him beside the other Jackos like Jacko Chica and Jacko Bonnie, he doesn't look half bad. So yeah, I think the 8 out of 10 score is pretty fair. But let's dive in deeper on that translucent plastic. I don't really know how I feel about this, to be honest. On one hand, I like the translucentness because it makes it not just a recolor from Nightmare Bonnie, but on the other hand, it looks kind of tacky and it looks kind of cheap to me. I don't know, I'm conflicted on this translucent base. Tell me in the comments what you guys think. Do you like it, or would you rather they stuck to the route of Jacko Chica? The only other additional notes I have about Grimm Foxy is that his ears are new molded pieces, his torso is a new molded piece, and his feet aren't, but hey, they didn't really have to do that. So what are my closing thoughts on this wave? Obviously, this blows waves like Security Breach and the Spring Color Wave we had earlier this year out of the water. Every single figure was a 7 or above. That's how good this wave was in my opinion. Since Funko is willing to go back to older games as evidenced by, well, this wave existing, we should really get a Withered wave sometime soon, or a toy animatronic wave. Why don't we have that, Funko? Apparently, more FNAF AR action figures are coming soon, such as VR Toy Freddy, High Score Toy Chica, which I'm fine with. Just Funko, please don't reuse the classic animatronics. Please, please don't. If I were to rank these, Dredbear is obviously my favorite, then Glitchtrap, then Jacko Bonnie, and then Grimm Foxy. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you're new. Tell me if you guys are picking these up in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.